Candle table, candle table, candle table. Candle table, candle table. Everyone say it with, I say candle, you say table. Candle. Candle. Very good. I think it works. We good? Woo. There we go. One, two, one, two. Oh, that's fine. One, two. One, two. What? There it is. Hello. Is that coming across? It's plugged into, what is that over there, 4? The one that is on the left. Which, sorry? Well, look at the map. Is that the right channel? Is it number 4? Oh, because it's not coming through my monitor. Oh, there it is. I just didn't think it was on. Can you turn it up in this monitor? Ah, it does work. Welcome to Storytellers on VH1. Hi. I could just sing like this all night. Oh. And we're streaming starting now. Hi, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. So nice to be together. There it is. All right, we're good. Sorry? Yeah. Hi, 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 hi. This is the nigun that was written by my friend Michael Orisman, who until recently lived in Kiev in Ukraine. And we sing this nigun with joy in our hearts, but also with a prayer for peace. And so let's sing it a little more somberly for just a moment. And each of us take a moment to think of conflict and war and suffering that's happening in Ukraine and utter a prayer for peace. Welcome, James. Come on up to help us light candles.
Asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlikner shel Shabbat. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Thanks so much.
Good Shabbos. Now you got to add a little T in there. Gut. It's gut. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. We all say good, but it's gut. Yeah. Good Shabbos. Or Shabbat Shalom. It is, we're going to be on page 1 in our prayer books. It is said that on Shabbat we receive a second soul. What does it mean to receive a second soul? Maybe it is whatever stress we have is diluted by half. Maybe whatever burdens we carry weigh a little bit less. Maybe whatever joy we have is doubled. That's the hope, is that with everything going on, chaos, stress, that one person that you didn't quite call back yet, take time off. Let go. Just give yourself permission to not deal with all of that for 24 hours. You deserve it, right? It's been a week. I know I've worked hard. I'm sure everyone in their own way has had that one thing that just, you had to deal with this week. So, a rabbinic colleague of mine, he had kids when we had our year in Israel together. And I was a single guy, before I met Malka, and we had our family. But they had this practice of, before lighting Shabbat candles, to just inhale and exhale your stress. Blow it all out onto the Shabbat candles before you light them. Take a breath in and exhale just all the stuff that you're worried about. Doesn't that feel good? Yeah. So, let us collectively sing Yedid Nefesh, which is my beloved, the soul, the second soul that is part of this, part of the beginning of Shabbat. We're just going to do the first verse, and then we're going to sing the Lila Lies. Yedid Nefesh, Av HaRachaman, HaMishach Avdecha, El Ritzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo Ayal, Yishtachaveh El Mul Hadarecha, Yerav Lo, Yedidutecha, Minofet Suf V'chotam. For those of us that don't know it, that was a lot of Hebrew. Let's do it again. It just gets easier every time you go. Yedid Nefesh, Av HaRachaman, Mishach Avdecha, El Ritzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo Ayal, Yishtachaveh El Mul Hadarecha, Yerav Lo, Yedidutecha. We turn to page 43. When we have Havdalah, one of the moments separating us from Shabbat and the ordinary times, or as we soon will do, from Pesach back to the rest of the week, we do Havdalah, separation. And in that moment, we have our last moment of sweetness, the last taste of the wine. We have the last fragrance, the last moment of smelling spices. And we take a moment and we use the light, and you kind of make the light bend because we need to do something with our blessing. We honor the light of Shabbat before we see it fade away. And if you ever see people go like this, kind of seeing the reflection of the light in their fingernails, I kind of think of that as next Shabbat. We got to get there, but that's next Shabbat. And Borei Minei V'Samim, the blessing of spices that we have, the last fragrance of Shabbat. I feel like with Erev Shel Shoshanim, this song, this Israeli song on page 43, it is the first fragrance of Shabbat. The first moment that you catch something that's a little extra sweet. You got some flowers on the way home. Maybe there's something really delicious cooking at home, or maybe it's just the perfume or natural smell of someone that you love on Shabbat. So we sing Erev Shel Shoshanim, Evening of Roses. Erev Shel Shoshanim, Netzena el habustan, Mor besamim ulevona, Leraglech miftan, Laila yored leat, Beruach Shoshan oshva, Hava el hashlach shir balat, Zemer shel ahava, Shachar homayona, Roshech malei tlalim, Pichel haboker shoshana, Aktifenu li, Laila yored leat, Beruach shoshan oshva, Hava el chashlach shir balat, Zemer shel ahava, Laila yored leat, Beruach shoshan oshva, Hava el chashlach shir balat, Zemer shel ahava. Turn to page 6. We go to the asterisk, Zamru Ladonai Bechinor. We use musical instruments. We use our bodies, our voices, our souls to fill this sacred space with song. And when we were virtual, it was particularly challenging. The rabbis and I met in this room for weeks and weeks and weeks. We came back into the sanctuary, and that felt like a big deal. And yet, we were missing the people. We knew you were all streaming and at home and having delicious dinners and sitting with a hot cup of tea, perhaps. But it, wasn't the same. And let us not take for granted the opportunity that we have to make music together in our sanctuary. Page 6. Look for the asterisk near the bottom. Zamru Ladonai Bechinor, Bechinor V'kol Zimra, Bechatzotzrot V'kol Shofar, Hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor v'kol zimra, v'chatzotzrot v'kol shofar. Hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai. Yiram hayamom lo, tevel ve'yoshveva. Neharot yimcha uchaf yachad harim yiraneinu. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz. Yishpot tevel b'tzedek ve'amim b'mei sharim. Yiram hayamim lo tevel ve'yoshveva. Neharot yimcha uchaf yachad harim yiraneinu. Yiram hayamim lo tevel ve'yoshveva. Neharot yimcha uchaf yachad harim yiraneinu. L'chadodi, page 10. Ya la 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 l'chadodi, ya la 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 l'krat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat neka b'hila. Ya la 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 l'chadodi, ya la 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 l'krat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat neka b'hila. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad. Yishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem hu tiferet v'litila. Ya la 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 l'chadodi, ya la 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 l'krat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat neka b'hila. L'krat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nezucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila. Ya la 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 l'chadodi, ya la 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 l'krat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat neka b'hila. Mikdash melech, ir melucha, kumitzi mitoch hafecha, rav lach shevet be'emek habacha, ve'u yachamol alaychem elai. Ya la 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 l'chadodi, ya la 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 l'krat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat neka תתעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובתהילה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, Page 15, Chatzi Kaddish. This one. Yitkadal veyitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael bagala bagala u'v'izman kariv v'imeru Yehi Shemei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam U'Lalamei Alamaya Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach Ve'yitpar Yitromam Ve'yitnaseh Ve'yitadar V'yitaleh Ve'yithalal Shemei Dekudsha Brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imeru Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Continue on your own. Baruch Adonai Umavir yom, umevi laila. Umavdil ben yom uvein laila Adonai tzevahot shemo וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב ערבי. Page 17. Song of Love. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto. Please be seated. Page 18. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam B'shivtecha beveitecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, Uvisharecha. Continue on your own. Lema antis keru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz litzrayim Lihyot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 21. Mi chamocha. I had a chance to sit and study with our adult B'nai Mitzvah students this week. on Wednesday. It was a real delight and always a treat, and profound kavod and honor for those who choose to pursue Torah and pursue this moment as an adult. I know many in this room have done so as part of our adult B'nai Mitzvah program. If our 12 and 13-year-olds only knew how lucky they have it, being able to absorb new information and study so easily. Try it 40 years later, and they are reminded at what a price we pay for wisdom. So we were talking about the prayer book, we were talking about Micha Mocha, and this prayer for freedom. Yay, we're free! Something we take for granted quite a bit. Something we don't really think about very much. So I like to, especially when I'm working with our students on Sunday mornings, talk about things that we are still kind of enslaved to. We each have things that we can't control about ourselves, vices, habits that we know we probably shouldn't have. And with our students, they say, on Sunday mornings, they say, picking your nose and, sneaking snacks or not getting along with my sister. And a profoundly meaningful and different conversation with our adult B'nai Mitzvah students on Wednesday. And yet, much of it was the same. I sneak snacks. I'm not truthful with my spouse. I just can't not have coffee. And if I don't have coffee, I'm not a human being. I really don't know how to be kind to people when I'm driving. I make assumptions. My mother-in-law, don't get me started. Ann Van Proyen, I love you. My mother-in-law is great, if she's watching. But, friends, we each have work to do. And we see this text, Micha Mocha, it's a prayer for freedom from slavery. Well, we've got work to do. I see this prayer as kind of Yom Kippur Katan. Even on Shabbat, what can I do to be a better fill in the blank? Better spouse, better child, better parent, a better citizen, a better pedestrian, a better human on earth. So we sing Micha Mocha joyfully. Yada la 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 la, yada la la la. Right? I don't know. Dan Nichols wrote a Micha Mocha that we sing with our kids at camp. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai nora. It's really upbeat. And he actually wrote a second melody for Micha Mocha. And in the liner notes of the album, yes, I still buy CDs. In the liner notes of the album, he wrote, what if, while everyone else was dancing, someone stood there and said, wow, this just happened. Sat back and had a moment of awe. I like that balance between joy and striving. We have moments of joy. We also have moments of struggle. And we are each beholden to something that is, as it says in the text, Fada Adonai et Yaakov u'ga'alo miyad chazak mimenu, a hand stronger than our own. I can't turn it off. I'm trying. What can we do to find balance? So, page 21. A slightly different take on this moment of Geula, this moment of freedom. Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. No rati lo tosefela, o sefela. Again. Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. No rati lo tosefela, o sefela. Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. V'nehemar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov. Ugalo mi'ad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. V'hamidenu shamalkeinu l'chaim. 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 Turn to page 23, continue with Shamru, and then into silent prayer. Finding our own moments of prayer, quiet, and peace. When you're done with your own personal prayer, you can have a seat. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot Shabbat ledorotam berit olam berit olam. Let's do it again. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam berit olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael oti le'olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash. Page 31. We've done a lot of prayers for peace, and we had a moment of peace for our friends in Ukraine earlier this evening. I'd like to continue our theme of self-reflection at the bottom of page 31. Elohai Nitzor. Oh God, keep my tongue from evil, my lips from deception. Before those who slander me, I will hold my tongue. I will practice humility. Open my heart to your Torah, that I may pursue your mitzvot. As for all who think evil of me, please cancel their designs and frustrate their schemes. Act for your own sake, for the sake of your power, for the sake of your holiness, for the sake of your Torah, so that your loved ones may be rescued. Save with your power and answer me. Hoshia yamincha va'aneni. Powerful words. our friends in the choir are often tempted to sing their parts. I'm going to ask for tonight, let's sing the melody or just listen. Elohai nitzor leshoni mera usfatai medaber mirma velim kalalai nafshi tidom venafshi ke'afar lakol tihiyeh Elohai 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 nitzor leshoni mera usfatai medaber mirma Velim kalalai nafshi tidom venafshi ke'afar lakol tihiyeh Elohai 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 nitzor leshoni mera usfatai medaber mirma Velim kalalai nafshi tidom venafshi ke'afar lakol tihiyeh Elohai Elohai Ptach libi Ptach libi Ptach libi V'toratecha Nitzor leshoni mera Usfatai medaber mirma Velim kalalai nafshi tidom venafshi ke'afar lakol tihiyeh Elohai 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 nitzor leshoni mera Usfatai medaber mirma Velim kalalai nafshi tidom venafshi ke'afar lakol tihiyeh Elohai Elohai Yihu leratson imreifi Vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai 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 Tzuri Adonai Tzuri Vegali. May it be so. Friends, I have a great teacher. Let me tell you about this teacher of mine. Someone who goes out of their way for moments of gratitude, often by surprise. Someone who practices ethics and teaches ethics to our children. Someone who plays the tuba very, very well. Friends, I learn a great deal from Alan Isaacson, and we are blessed to have him in our community as part of the Isaacson team, educating dozens on a weekly basis. A core part of our B'nai Mitzvah program and our religious school, and we are grateful. Alan is going to be our darshan for the evening and teach us a little bit about Shmini. Alan, please come on up.
This is great at care and everything. Oh. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So, scripted notes. We can hear okay? That better? Thank you. So before I go to this, I just want to take maybe less than a minute. Thank you for this honor, because it is, and your trust that I don't go off in the wrong direction. And I want to dedicate this little teaching to my grandmother, Bessie Gordetsky, who immigrated as a child from Kiev, to my grandfather, Morris Isaacson, who immigrated from Romania under similar circumstance, and to my mother of blessed memory, who taken care of in Sweden and then made her way here. Her brother made his way to fight for the founding of the State of Israel. So I'd like to dedicate this to them if I can. And on one other note, many years ago, Amy, you could tell me how many, my younger children were getting B'nai Mitzvah'd here, and I sat there and spoke to them, and they were nervous because they didn't know what I was going to say, and I quoted Popeye. And I actually think I wore a Popeye shirt. Amy's not sure. And it said Popeye's famous slogan, "I am what I am," which I always thought he took right from the story of Moses in the burning bush. I think I made the point of, for God that's good, for us we are what we make of ourselves. So the reason I brought that up is I'm starting this way. I may not be a physicist, but I knows what's matters. Rub Popeye. I may not be an Einstein, but I have a good theory on what is and isn't relative. Poppy. This week's Parsha, to be turned and turned each year and viewed as a metaphor for how we live our lives, contains at least two main themes that, on very close examination, I think come together nicely. So I'd like to take a few minutes to present some thoughts for you to turn with your family or friends over this Shabbat. First theme is on the dangers of excess power, excess wealth, especially when put in the hands of excess ego. In Shemini we read that 2 of Aaron's 4 sons bring offerings to God, offerings not of God's ordination, but of their own. For this, in this very hard to read story, they are consumed by fire. So horrific is this occurrence that Aaron is actually speechless, a phenomena which is often not attributed to Jews. He cannot believe what his sons had brought before the Holy One as an offering, nor could he find the words to question God's seemingly horrific response. Have any of us been speechless by human action and the consequences that ensue in our lives, and even more so today? There are nearly endless interpretations of deeper meaning to be gleaned here, but who among us, does not see this story being retold in our own day, in our own time, over and over? So there's theme 1, the dangers of excess. Secondly, the Parsha addresses eating as a function of holiness in the Jewish tradition. Now, I have so many personal stories relating to this topic, but I've been asked to keep things brief. As Cantor knows that brevity is not my strongest suit. But here is one part of kashrut as defined in Torah that I love to reflect upon, and I do that with the kids that I'm with. In Exodus, within the amazing details spelled out for building the tabernacle, so we're in Leviticus, but we're going back to Exodus for just a moment. The Ark of the Covenant is to be lined with gold both on the inside and the outside. hold that thought for just a moment. Of the many laws and customs that have been derived from what we as Jews are allowed to eat, if we have to, the one pertaining to mammals is clear. Mammals must have two attributes. They must have split hooves, and they must chew their cud. Hence, cows, sheep, even bison, and a list of animals that Amy said don't mention on the bima, are all kosher. Can anyone here name one animal that sticks out as the prime example of a non-kosher mammal? Can't hear you. Pig. In Yiddish, what's that? Chazer. Be very careful when you call somebody a chazer. It turns out that in its outward appearance, you would think that a pig would be kosher. Split hooves, nice and gentle, apparently plated in gold on the outside. But observe more closely and you find it does not chew its cud. It doesn't meet the internal basic requirement for being kosher, i.e., a fit-for-consumption animal. Have you ever known someone, or much harder, have we ever presented ourselves as kosher on the exterior, yet harbored less than kosher internal sentiment? Might our drives toward being excessive lead us astray in our desire to be ethically kosher? My hand's up on that. I fight that all the time. Finally, then, the Parsha ties these two things together by commanding us not to degrade ourselves by contact with abominable things, which really is some good advice when you look at it. We've all heard the saying that you are what you eat. As I read from Rabbi Wasserman of the New Shul this week, quoting him, maintaining our integrity means steering clear of situations in which we may be morally compromised, from unkind or insensitive people, from morally repugnant ideas, and from harmful speech. We can combat these, but we cannot allow ourselves to become accustomed to them. It seems that human beings can become accustomed to almost anything. We must take care to make our home with those who challenge us to be better. So in conclusion, thank you all for coming to my once again bar mitzvah. Please send all your gifts to the temple's endowment fund. May our daily prayers for continued strength of body, mind, and spirit, seeking the light to be a continued force of blessing and hope, be both non-excessive and rooted in ethical, kosher appreciation. Shabbat shalom. Thank you, Cantor.
Friends, we turn to page 34. And continue with a prayer for healing. We take a moment to reflect on those who are in need of healing, those who are physically ill, perhaps suffering from an emotional trauma, a disease of the mind, someone who is in recovery. If there's someone that you'd like to share their name, please, if you're joining us virtually, share it by typing their name in, or you may share their name out loud when my eyes meet yours. sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Continue with Aleinu on page 38. Please rise. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot adama, shelo samchelkenu kahem, vigor aleinu kechol hamonam, vanachnu koreim, Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Yeh Adonai Echad, Ushemo, Please be seated. We come to the moment where we recall those who are no longer with us, those whose lights shine on through stories, sweet memories, lots of photos. This Shabbat, we recall those who have died in the last 30 days in Shloshim. If you are here remembering one of them, please rise when I call their name. Adele Orr, Gary Davis, Arnold Les Rothberg, and Rita Leff. If you are remembering someone tonight, whether it's Yartzeit or perhaps they're just on your mind, please rise. And when I come to you, please share the name and perhaps the relation. Carol Jacobson. May in memory be a blessing. Sylvia Whites. May her memory be a blessing. Together we rise and join together on page 40 to support them and recall those for whom there is no one left to say Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, be'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya. Yit barach ve'yishtabach ve'yit pa'ar ve'yit romam ve'yit naseh. Ve'yit hadar ve'yit alev ve'yit halal. Shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol b'nei adam v'imru amen. Please be seated. Dory and Emily, it's good to see you. Welcome back. Come on up. Going to lead us in Kiddush, page 41. Oh, please rise. Sorry, we stand for Kiddush. This microphone is for you.
Ready? You want to do it? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat lechaim. All right, lechaim, Shabbat shalom. Thank you, friends. Yasher koach. I see a number of friends who are here from our men's retreat who are joining us tomorrow morning. Just like the women's retreat, the men's retreat was caused to pivot and shift to a local celebration. Our men's gathering is going to be tomorrow, and it's going to be a day full of meaning and fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And to all, wishing you a wonderful Shabbat. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Good Shabbos.